What is up, guys? This is CubowaK here, and welcome to great news. I always say welcome to. I never know how to do these one-off videos. But today, guys, today is Saturday. This news was released yesterday on Friday, the February 26th, yesterday. This news was released by Nintendo during a Pokemon Direct, or Game Freak, I guess, somebody. I don't really know. But this is actually huge news to the Pokemon community because it has confirmed many rumors, but also left a lot of room for speculation. So, what happened? What happened was new games, as this title of this video suggests. New games were confirmed. Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon were confirmed to be released holiday 2016. So I'm assuming that's just September or November gaming season, pretty much. We are getting new games this year for the 20th anniversary. And there's actually a lot of other Pokemon news I'm going to throw in here too, because this is like a discussion, a whole discussion video. I'm just going to go over what's announced first, and then we'll get into analysis and all that. But pretty much they released in their Pokemon Direct. It was a little just a quick video thing. Kind of like their Super Bowl commercial, where it was just like the real life people playing the games, and it was like a reflection on all of Pokemon from Gen 1 up to Gen 6, and a big thing they said was, and now it all meets together, or it finally connects, or something along that extent. I don't remember the exact words, but they say something along the lines of it all adds up, it all meets, it all connects in Pokemon Sun and Moon. And where there was a lot of development pictures, a lot of like blueprints, I forget the word. There's a word though, there's a word for all of it, like stuff that isn't complete, kind of like a theory, but not, what is it? Draft? It's like a draft. They showed a bunch of drafted pictures from it, and a whole bunch of stuff in the trailer that you could pause and take looks at, and there are a lot of cool little things there, but they didn't actually show any gameplay, and there's no solid evidence of a new Pokemon yet, except Magiana, of course, which was leaked. But it leads me to believe many things, and this is where the speculation part of this video comes in. So, where do I even begin? I watched, if you guys are a fan of PokeTubers, you have probably heard of the King Nappy, who did a really good, first he did his reaction to the video, so you can go and watch that to see the actual Pokemon Direct, which is how I saw it. And then he did a analysis and discussion with a bunch of people on his channel, and pretty much what they did was they just looked through all of it. Like, they just went to screenshot to screenshot to see what was up with it, and to see where it all connected. Not where it all connected, but just to like analyze and see if we could figure out some more details. And there are a lot of cool things. I'm not going to show screenshots. I'm trying to keep this relatively under 15 minutes, but there were some pictures of vehicles with Pokemon in them. So there's going to be a vehicle presence in this game, a bigger vehicle presence than there's been, at least, because I know there's been a tad bit, but there's going to be like cars, so it makes me believe we're going to be in a more, not an urban, a more urban place, like big cities. Who knows, maybe the whole game will take place in one big city, which would kind of suck, but like different districts, I don't know. There's plenty of cities that are big enough to do that in, though. But there is that, there's vehicles, there's also some pictures of areas in the game, nothing yet completed. If you look through all of them, you can see like Pokemon Center, stuff that points towards a Pokemon Center, stuff that points towards a Pokemart, and all that sort of good stuff. Don't mind the universe background. I got a new webcam, so I'm testing it out with OBS, making sure that the green screen works fine on here, which it does, so I could use that other places. But if I actually like moved, you could see all of my crap behind me, just because this webcam has a much broader range of stuff in this direction and stuff like down. It very widened everything up, and it looks a lot better. Like, I hope I look a lot better. I hope it looks more HD than my old camera. If it doesn't, oh well. I've seen a lot of good YouTubers use this webcam, but that's all this video is about. What am I saying? Okay, I gotta stop. But there is like, it looks somewhat like a hotel, a resort sort of thing with two people in front of it that may be the main characters of the game. One kind of looks like red, and considering or it might just be red. considering the way they said it, where it all meets up in this generation, like, I see something big happening here. Like, I see Pokemon from every single, like, I could imagine every single Pokemon being able to be caught in this game without needing a national dex, like, just being that big of a game. The way they worded it, I'm kind of leaning towards something like that, but I don't know. There's a lot of speculation going on in my head. There's also, I think that's really it. There's pictures of a model of a Pokemon being made that kind of looks like a Fletchling, kind of doesn't. Its head's way too big. It's a possibility that it could be a rough new model for Fletchling. Who knows? It could be just a new Pokemon altogether. And then there is a picture of it textured, or what appears to be it textured slightly. It still looks really, really rough, and it's hard to distinguish. But it might be something like that. It's a bird type, and it's really interesting. But what I'm really, really skeptical about is sorry, I'm moving around so much. I'm like looking at it like, am I HD? Can you read my hat? It says Brixton. Can't really read it. I don't know. It looks better though. It looks better than my old one for sure. What was I saying? I hate doing that. But as I was saying, there's a lot of speculation going on in my head about whether this really is Generation 7. Because, of course, everybody was expecting, if it was going to be 6.5, as we call it, I was expecting it to be, like, something with on the lines of Z. They set themselves up to make Z, but they didn't make it. Like, Z is not going to happen. There's not a doubt in my mind Z is completely out of the picture now. Pokemon Z will never exist unless it becomes a ROM hack. But, Pokemon Z and ZXZY, all that theory that I had, it's not coming true. Obviously, they've announced Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, which the names I'm a little bittersweet on as well. Like, I like the names, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I don't. Like, I don't know, like, they're cool, but I don't think they've grown on me yet. Like, they will grow on me. Pokemon Moon sounds pretty cool, and that's the one everybody wants just from the name. I'm playing Sun first, personally. I'm gonna Let's Play Sun. But I don't know how I feel about those names yet. But when it comes to these new games, there is still a high possibility that these games will take place in Southern Kalos. And it just might be a lot bigger than anybody expected, because Southern Kalos you never explore in X and Y. So there is a possibility. I'm not going to say it's for sure, like, oh, it's still going to be there, like I originally thought, because the names aren't what I thought they'd be, and it kind of is leading me in a whole different direction. But the game could still possibly be the 6.5 I talked about. Just the way they talk about it in the trailer makes me think, because when he says makes them all come together, what I think when he says that, like, the thing that goes through my head is they're not going to add any new Pokemon whatsoever, except maybe a few, because Magiana, however you want to pronounce it, was obviously confirmed, so it may be a thing. It may be a thing in the game that they are going to add many, many new Pokemon. It might be a full new generation, and I wouldn't doubt it. Considering the names, I would not doubt it. I'm kind of expecting it. That's what I'm leaning towards it's going to be. It's Generation 7 is on its way this year. But at the same time, I wonder because, once again, they have not done a generation yet without a counterpart to the main games of the generation. Because we got Yellow, Crystal, Emerald, Platinum, Black and White 2, and then now here we are expecting Z, and we get Sun and Moon. So it is a possibility that it is not going to be Generation 7. And considering, I don't know, I don't know. I have no clue of what it's going to be. But I have no doubt in my mind, or I do have doubt, obviously, but there's no like super, I'm not against it. I'm not saying it's not going to be it. I highly expect it to end up being Generation 7 and them adding whole new Pokemon and a whole new region and everything. But there is a lot to think about here, because they say it all comes together. It all comes together. That's what they like kind of focused on, is that it all comes together with this game. And that leads me to, well, they didn't really focus on that, but they say it, and they go over every game before they start talking about it. So that's why I feel like this. But it is in the back of my mind that it is still going to be Generation 6.5, and there's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different ways to look at it like this, and to kind of try to get it through my head, because I have a whole bunch of different theories about this. Theory number one, obviously, Gen 7 confirmed. Not too much of a theory, if I do say so. But theory number two, Generation 6.5 is still a thing in the form of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and it's just coming out in a different way than anybody expected. But if it's a new if it's a new region but doesn't add many Pokemon, that's going to lead a lot of speculation in people's head. Can we really consider this Gen 7? And then another theory is that this is going to be a game that includes every single region. And I know that sounds crazy, but just I keep thinking back. The one thing that won't get out of my head when I think about this is it all connects. It all comes together. So is this going to be a game where we get to explore every single region in 3DS? Like, we're gonna be able to go from Kanto, Johto into Oras region, because I doubt they'd redo all of that. And then we have Sinnoh and Unova. And considering they made the Oras remix, the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire a year after X and Y, and we didn't get a game for a year. But since it took only a year to get another Pokemon game out of a region like that, it leads me to believe that they might actually be able to remake these other 4 regions, and they've been working on it for 2 years now, in a fairly quick time. So it is a thought in my head that this game might end up being a remake of every single region. But the only thing that kind of doesn't work with that is I don't know if it would be capable. I don't know if one game cartridge would be capable of doing that. So I don't know. I think it's actually, with today's technology, you could download it onto the DS instead of having to just play it straight from the cartridge. I don't know, but I think it's like kind of a mixture of the both. But it is a thought in my head that might happen, and I don't know what we'd call that. If that did happen, if my theories do come true eventually, I don't know, what would you call that? If they remade everything, would that even be a different generation? I think what I'm going off now is, this is what I'm gonna say. It's not, obviously my say has no say in the full look of the Pokemon community, and it will be dubbed what it's dubbed eventually. But I'm gonna call it Generation 6.5 if, one, it doesn't add any new Pokemon. If the only new Pokemon is like a handful, like Volcanion, since it's not technically in the game yet, only in the coding. If Volcanion, Magiana, if they show up, I'm going to say, and if they're like the only 2 that show up, I'm gonna say 6.5. I'm gonna say 6.5. Even if it's in a new place or an old place. Well, okay, that's, hold on, let's hold the phone. But say they don't add any Pokemon except Volcanion and Magiana, but they add a whole new region, then I'm stuck. Then I'm stuck right in the middle. But if they add Volcanion and Magiana and they go to Southern Kalos, that's 6.5 for sure. If they add a lot of new Pokemon, if they add 100 new Pokemon in their Southern Kalos, 6.5. If they add a ton of new Pokemon and go to a new region, 7. If they don't add very many Pokemon but go to a new region, that's the most iffy one. If they don't add many and go to a new region, that is the most iffy for me. I don't see that happening at all. I can't see that happening. I can't see Nintendo doing something like that. So that is like the least likely, but also that one would be the biggest sticky situation of what to dub it in terms of generations. And then we have the possibility, like I said, if they were to go back and remake every region, and you go through every region in this game, and it's crazy. That would be honestly insane. I don't see the name being Sun and Moon for that. I don't see that fitting. So that's why I'm a little bit like, I don't know. But if that does end up happening, that's another one. We're like, where do we call that? Because I don't think they'd add new Pokemon if they did that. So, like, do you call that Like, or do you call that, excuse me, do you call that Generation 7? A remake of every generation? Would that be Generation 7? Because I would see that as kind of a super remake. So I don't know if I'd want to call that Generation 7. But then there's also the possibility of, if they do that, like, I don't know if I can call that Generation 6.5 per se. I think that would just be kind of like, I don't know, I think I'd have to call it Generation 6.5, but I'd still look at it as Oris. Kind of deal where it's just a part of Generation 6. I don't know, but we still have a lot of information to come, because this, honestly, it was cool because they announced the games. We know for sure. Everybody's speculation, we're like, okay, we got it. We're getting games this year, for sure. Like, it's not a thought in the back of our head anymore. It's not I'm pretty sure it is, you are getting games holiday season 2016. But they didn't release a lot about it, so I'm sure a lot more information is going to come out. We still have 9 months probably before this game comes out, but I will be Let's Playing it. I don't know how I'll be doing it yet. I know I want to start with Sun. I want to start with Sun because everybody else is probably going to start with Moon, so I'm going to start with Sun, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I'm actually really excited for this. I am really excited for this. And who knows, maybe something will come out of this that will also be a Wii U feature. Because I've said this before, I really want another game like XD and Colosseum where it is a Pokemon game on the Wii U. Even if it follows traditional gameplay instead with 8 badges and gyms, I really want another Pokemon Wii U game, or another Pokemon home console game like the old GameCube ones. Because I really like those games, even though they were really slept on. I'd really love to see one of those coming again to the Wii U or the NX, because I guess something. Well, that's another video. That's another video. We're gonna wrap this up here with a little bit of conversation about the Pokemon Gen 1 games, and then I'm gonna end it off. But real quick too, I want to point this out. They are now making it. They have made it. They have announced it today that since today is the day actually when Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, or Red, Green, and Yellow in Japan, I think, have been made available on the Nintendo 3DS eShop, which unfortunately I can't even get because I'm homebrewed, and I'd have to update and get rid of my homebrew, and that would completely, that would make it so I can't finish the X Randomizer or Chain Monolock. But I think after the Chain Monolock, that's gonna be it for 6th Gen randomizers and 3DS randomizers for a while. I'm gonna update it. I'm gonna lose my homebrew, and that's okay. Just because, of course, there is Generation 1 came back, and I really want to play it. Generation 7 is coming, so I kind of want to be ready for that. If I'm homebrewed, I know I could potentially, eventually, even randomize Sun and Moon, but I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna wait for the randomizer to get updated to that. I'm just gonna play through it the day it comes out and have fun with it. So after this series, I'm gonna be done with 6th Gen randomizers. It's not gonna be a possibility in my playbook for a while. So yeah, but as I was saying, because I didn't even finish, Pokemon the Gen 1 re-release on the eShop will be compatible with Pokemon Bank, which means you could transfer your Pokemon from those games, of course, forward to Generation 6, and you'll be able to get them into Sun and Moon, which just kind of completely co-opts my theory about them remaking every generation, because they wouldn't point that out in the trailer if they were remaking Kanto. So yeah, forget I said that. The only games that haven't been remade now are of course Diamond and Pearl and Black and White. So we'll see what happens with that. But actually, that's another conversation for next week. I just thought of a whole bunch of stuff. Alright guys, I'm gonna end this video now. It's been about 20 minutes, so that's long enough for this Pokemon discussion. But just think about it. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen with Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, and if you think it's going to be a new region, Southern Kalos 6.5 Generation 7. Just let me know all your thoughts on that down in the comments. Once again, sorry for our space background instead of normal background, which would just be my green screen with nothing going on. So I guess we used it for once in a talk video. But as always, guys, my name is CubowaK. I am signing out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!